Oh my goodness. What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Game Like Will, man. Back with another video, man. I just really want to talk about feelings, bro. Feelings and how men struggle with feelings because traditionally we're taught to stay out of the emotional zone, out of the feelings, out of the emotions, basically, and not even realizing that that's probably the leading cause of cancer, death, and just any type of ill outcome that you don't really want. But you've been conditioned and trained to be tough. You feel what I'm saying? And not even realizing that in most cases, when you do act out that tough timeline of whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be subconsciously, because it's not your nature to really be tough, unless um, there's certain conditions to being tough. But ultimately, there's a difference between being tough, tougher than the female creature or gender, and the action, the verb being tough, right? Because being tough is a funny word because it's malleable, it's flexible because it depends on who's looking, right? Some people think Brock Lesnar's tough. Some people think um, MLK is tough. Some people think Tupac is tough. Some people think that it's in the eye of who's looking so much that you can't give a fuck how life is panning out for you, if that makes any sense. Um, Typically I talk about dating, but this is more therapeutic slash dating, right? Um, uh, you know, I talk about game, but game is also another word that's a funny word because it's also, especially when you compare it to life, it just simply means that you can't, the, it's okay. Free choice and free will is beautiful, but it's also could be like the thing that's really hurting you too, because the thing that you need to make strong, if you're going to make one thing strong in your life, and that's your emotional, I don't know what to call it, emotional bandwidth, emotional health, emotional whatever, stoicism, and it got to be in here, like you're in right here, you know what I'm saying, right here, got to be protected. um when a person uh, doesn't have the threat of being emotionally abused or manipulated, they're able to be up here 100%. And you will naturally be perceived as tough if you're up here 100%. So, what people call tough is really just a byproduct of being autonomous or detached or indifferent to what people think, feel, and how they're going to react to whatever you do, basically. That's what people call tough. When I was in 10th grade, I stood up on stage finally, because I wasn't a big speaker. Stood up on stage. See, this feels a lot different, right? But somehow a lot of people still struggle with YouTube videos because it's not about that. And that's why I say free will could also hurt you, because when you don't have the option, you have to be you have to do it whether you look good, feel good, or whatever. You have to do it. And that and what basically my wood shop teacher, I think it was, I think that's what the class was called. He said we got to stand up on stage and do something. He just called random people. He was like, "You're gonna do this part. You're gonna do this part. You're gonna do this part." And when he called me, I'm like, "Damn, I did not expect to be called on for this." And he had us practice it in class first. And so I read in front of the class, and it was really, it wasn't scary yet, but I knew the day that came for me to speak on the stage, it might be some bullshit. So early in the morning in the assembly, I'm just regular chilling. He called everybody up to the front of the thing. You know, I'm usually sitting all the way somewhere in the back, just chilling. And you know, when he called, when he told me, yeah, come here, read this part, and I got up on the stage, I was so nervous that it reached the peak of nervousness to where the nervousness kind of had nowhere to go, and then it's kind of like a demon, bro. It's like it has to like you have to face it, and then when you know, because I felt like everyone seen my nerves and my jitters still, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this shit. Got no fucking choice, because the way he put me in that position, no diddy, he forced me to be um flat forward, or I guess the word could be honest in a way, because like you got to be nervous while you do it, basically. So that forced me to do that, and that exposed, I guess, because I'm gonna tell you, after I stood up on the stage and I did it while my voice was shaky and everything, and I was forgetting the words, but I still pushed through it. I felt esteemed after that. Like, damn, I just did something 99% of this crowd would not do. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they would do it, but they just didn't get the opportunity. But at the time, it gave me this feeling of, fearlessness, because the fear wasn't no longer here. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, when I'm walking to class after that, this Spanish chick walks up to me and is like, she's just kind of like giving this, like, she's choosing, like, she's like, oh, like, I like how you stood up and you did that, da 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 da. She was just giving me mad respect and props, like, but it was like, I don't know, it was a great feeling, bro, because I knew, like, damn, like, I just did some mannish, like, some manly shit, and I don't like, you never know what you're missing, basically. Like, I didn't know that was, I don't know, because I seen people stand up on stages when I was young, and it was always either it was a white person or it was a popular, honorable black person that we knew. But it would never just be like somebody who was like immature. Like, it would never be that guy. Yeah. So there's a lot of respect that come with doing what you know you got to do, basically, and I think that's where the respect had came from. And a lot of people, they discount respect when it comes to the dating game and relationships, right? So I seen someone post a post the other day. They said your sister, your aunts, your mothers, and your nieces are watching. It was either a post or it was I think it was some other dating coach said this. I think his name is Tristan Social. He was like, they're all dependent on you or counting on you to be the best version of yourself, and they're waiting for that. And it's kind of crazy how you can look at your family and kind of see that, but you don't know. But you kind of instinctually might like see it. Just like that girl that she's like, she was waiting for me to be a man and get on a stage, but I never knew, because I never was given the opportunity to do that. So I never knew the vitamins and nutrients that would come out of that behavior or action. I just knew wasn't the type to do the shit. But you'll be surprised what women are looking at. Um, they're not like us. Like Kendrick said, they're not like us. And I think that's the biggest thing with being raised by women for most of you guys that were that raised by women, and it's definitely, they're different. Even the guys who raised by other guys have to come to that realization. I think it's a little bit more obvious when you're raised by a guy, but I think the fact that being raised by a woman could be very blinding. I'm still around my mom often, a lot, and I try to put distance in between us as much as I can. And there's still moments of having to cross paths and having to talk, and those little moments can be very, very reminding, and they can make a big impression depending on the circumstances. So choosing a lane for myself, like doing YouTube, choosing um, a lifestyle for myself. These things are things that differentiate us as people. Even if you're my mom and and we're always around each other, it's like these are differentiators. You know what I'm saying? This differentiates. Because sometimes women need to see why we're guys. Just like we need to see why. Like, it's times where women do shit and I'm like, damn, you really a woman. Like, you feel me? Like, not like physical, like period and stuff like that, but like it gotta be some shit like they're so emotional that they keep doing some shit, and you're like, damn, you really can't be a guy and just walk away from the situation, right? That's what a lot of young boys will think about their mother, or they will feel that, because if dad was there, they would know, like, okay, I could clearly look at and see from very young that he moves this way all the time and she moves that way all the time. But when dad's not there and it's just mom, you're seeing like her do some strong shit and then she's doing some weak shit. And it's confusing you because you're like, I don't know, and then she's going to get in your face and straight lie and tell you, oh, I could raise a man. I'm strong. I'm this. She gonna champion a lie to you, and then you're gonna be like, damn, well, maybe women are kind of strong, because you feel me, da da da. The fact that you even bought into it a little bit is the problem, right? Because they're working on your subconscious beliefs. Now, what I'm saying is respect to all women that did what they had to do, but at some point they gotta understand that you're still raising a man. At the end of the day, he was a boy at one point. He was, because all kids are malleable and flexible. They can be um, in environments, and they could be weak for a certain amount of time and it could be acceptable. But when it's time to really be strong, that motherfucker ain't trying to go back to being weak. Once that young man recognized that, hey, I'm a man and it's a lot of benefits that come with being who I am, that motherfucker is not trying to, be around mommy and ride in the passenger and do all this other shit. He's trying to be in the whip. He's trying to whip the whip and have females in the whip and go to do this and go do that. He's trying to elevate, and a lot of times it be your own people, fam, that they don't really feel too fine, because remember, as a woman, I'm emotional, right? I raised you and I feel like you should, treat me better. And, it's women have unrealistic expectations. They don't see the world the way we see the world. They're not really living in reality half the time. And because they did what they had to do for that portion of your life, it's like they fell in love with that portion and they don't want to look at a new portion at all. And it's like the young guys gotta understand that, understanding, and this is gonna be the ironic part, because whether you were raised by a woman or not, since the 90s, men have been trained to be so logical minded that by avoiding your emotions, it actually makes you more emotionally manipulatable. So that's why you see a lot of guys nowadays getting controlled by women, because women have the ability to be logical because school made them logical, but they also have the ability to be who they are. So they have that flexibility, that range. But guys, if you're not just logical, you might judge yourself or feel like, damn, I'm going into territory that I shouldn't be in. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not saying be emotional, but you should acknowledge how you feel and how something is making you feel. Basically, that's at the basic, because you are a human being. Even, dogs, animals, regardless of the gender, if something make you feel bad, worried, mad, scared, frustrated, joy, it's very important. that you acknowledge that. And even some of the most of the most masculine people on to ever touch Earth that built this world had a very um, they were very knowledgeable about spirituality and emotions, basically feelings. They understood feelings, and it was that, in my opinion, that femininity that had helped them to actually be um, unmanipulatable while simultaneously, like I said, because you need both. You have a brain, but you have a heart, right? You have a heart is different than the brain. They're two different things simultaneously working together. Um, one is emotion based and one is um, logical. And it's like the moon and the sun. It's like left hand, right. It's contradicting. And I think a man who doesn't check in with his emotions, he's controllable. He's manipulatable. Um, easily too, because he just is. He can't waver through this world the right way. Even if you statistically look at the people who are most likely to die in groups, it's the person who is most social person is more likely to live, but the most tough person is likely to get killed every time. Statistically. How is that possible? If this guy is a fucking crash out and he gonna punch you in your shit as soon as shit get real, shouldn't he be the one to live longer? Shouldn't he? And what are women attracted to? Nowadays, they've been conditioned to be attracted to the bad guy, but in reality, they're really attracted to what they don't know they're even attracted to, which is longevity. That they're really attracted to survivability and longevity, which means that women um are confused on what they really want. It means that you can't go off of what they tell you that they want, which is why guys are crashing out. And this is just me being intelligent and reading the room. You feel me? And just understanding. Um, Women will tell you some shit, but you can't listen. It's called being aware, right? And it's funny because it ain't that you guys don't have feelings. It's just that you're trained to not look at them. So the second you start to journal or do something, you start to see like, damn, my feelings aren't bad. They just aren't being acknowledged. And when I acknowledge them, they actually are lining up with what I need to be doing anyway. So telling a woman no is probably something you felt, but because you've been trained to kind of be cold in life, you can't even see it. And or telling a woman no. Think about that. Most guys are getting set up by women or for sex, and you're lusting still, but you're not feeling that. You're cut off from like the intuition part of you, the intuitive part of you that would have been like, huh, even though I want to smash, it's something about her. Something about her. Vibes don't lie. When you look at a female and you read the room and you're like, yeah, you know. The problem is most women could read you. You can't read them. Any creature that could do that to you, you're gonna be food to that creature. So it's like, just look at the basics of life, man. Like, you gotta read the room, and then it's like, you know, you gotta be able to spot your feelings before you could change your also. So a lot of 2015, you know, they're stuck in time era. Cause so how do you get out of that? It's gonna be a lot of training to get out of that. You in a certain thing. You've been cemented into a character that isn't really in totality whatsoever, but you feel that way. So you're bound to experience stress at any given second, especially around someone who's determined to stress you out. You know, you're easy because when a woman go this way, you're up here. Whatever she show you, basically, you're gonna believe because you're analyzing something that should be felt or traced or how can I say measured maybe or tracked. Like, oh, she went this way last week. Not falling for that again. You're wiser when you're coming from your intuitive space than you are because the body has memory. People think about the memory being the brain, but the body has memory. So I'll see a woman do something and it'll trigger off a feeling, a gut reaction, basically. It'll be a gut reaction. I'd be like, damn, that didn't feel like she really meant it. But if I was here, logically analyzing it, I'll be like, damn, okay, it's easier to believe shit when you're up here or fall for tricks because every trick is not the same. Every trick, some tricks are devious enough to trick the mind. So women are like magicians. Humans could be magician like. So you could be tricked up here. But when you read the room and you add everything up together, you might add your logic with your emotional or intuitiveness or feeling about something, then it's kind of easy to get a holistic picture of what you're dealing with. And 9 times out of 10, you'll bow out gracefully from a situation. You're like, nah, something about her vibe ain't right. It ain't worth fucking her. You know what I'm saying? But if you dull out the emotional part and you just try to do everything all logic, you'll be like, okay, well, maybe I'll put her on the roster just because, I don't got nobody else on the roster right now. Let me just throw her up here and see some shit that that you really, if you were holistically viewing it, you've been like, nah, fuck this bitch. I'm good. You just wait until you get the right chick. And people say, oh, there's no such thing as the right chick. You might as well just take what you got. That's where you get into that depression stage because you're looking at it as black and white in a world full of colors. You feel me? The world is colorful. You're looking at it black and white. That's what depressed people typically are doing, is looking at something black and white in a world where, it's nuanced. So it's like, it's not so easy to figure out. It's not like if I don't deal with her, I'm never going to get another female. And also, you're cutting off your possibilities, basically what this whole video is about, by doing that. Because you're not embracing the full picture. Like, you're not like, how is this the last chick I'm gonna get if I go to the corner store or I go to the mall later today? I'm gonna meet 10 more women. How is it the last chick? The devil be wanting you to feel like it's this or that. But it's really in that new success really lies. You feel me? Success is there. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no guarantees in life. You feel me? And I think that too many people want a guarantee. They're trained to want a guarantee. Right? That's what it is. But life ain't guaranteed for everybody. Some people life is more guaranteed. Even for them, they gotta take risks. They gotta take chances. They gotta do things that don't feel. You would think that if I stay logical, I'm doing things that don't feel comfortable, but that's not true. It's the intuitive space. Like, think about a guy in the jungle, like Tarzan. I used to play this game when I was younger on the GameCube, Tarzan and shit. He had to jump on like vines and shit, and he had to like. It's like so many things in nature. Like, right, you could talk about the logical space when it comes to school and books, book smarts. You can't talk about the logical space when it comes to nature, hunting, getting women, because you can't predict what a woman thinking or what she's gonna do. Because you're dealing with two different people. You're dealing with a female that is also a human. that means there's two in one. So you don't, oh shit, ain't this like a symbol or something? But it's like two in one. You don't know what you're gonna get, basically. So it's like you have to stay open. But if you're open, then you could be manipulated if you don't accept your feelings. Feelings can't be accepted if you're not always dealing with your feelings. You don't know them like that. You're not really tapped in with your emotions. So you don't know when someone's manipulating you. You feel like it's just happening, if that makes sense. Just like a woman when she feel like a guy is seducing her, she's being seduced because she's accepting of the fact that, oh, this is just happening. I didn't mean to fuck Brett, but it just kind of just happened. You're being in that same vibe because you're not realizing that your feelings are significant in life. So when you master your emotions, it's the best thing you could do because it's like you have to first of all be in tune with them first. But it's because so many people will prey on you in that regard. Way before they prey on you in the physical or any other realm, they'll emotional abuse is at an alarming rate. And like I said, um, simply journaling and asking yourself, what am I feeling right now and why? And then take that to the next. And then it's like, oh, well, maybe it's because this asshole is right here yelling. Duh, duh. And they're triggering duh, some response that is hidden in my emotional field. And maybe I'm not so soft as it seems. But they might think I'm soft because I didn't tell they bitch ass to shut the fuck up yet. But I didn't do it because I didn't know that I felt that way. Because feelings are cryptic. They're emotions. They're sly. You know, they're the part of you that, like I said, you're trained to look, hear, and stay here. But it's really down here where all of the magic happens because this is a lot of your neurology, right? It's down here. Up here really don't mean shit for real. If you control everything down here, you'll be a millionaire in like 2-3 months. Control everything down here for 2-3 months. You won't have that addiction no more. You won't have that trauma no more. You won't have that fear no more. You know, you'll get past all of the things that you didn't even know you weren't over or past. You know what I'm saying? And it won't matter because nothing really matters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not meaning to get too spiritual in this video, but this just was at the top of my mind as I woke up. Because women are in your masculinity. Um, masculinity isn't only masculine. I put it like this: masculinity is a byproduct of balance. So it's first is balance, and then it's masculinity plus the femininity. Because no one is 100% masculine. It's just people who got a better understanding of masculinity who could weaponize it easier than others because they have a better understanding of it. If you know Elliot Hulse, watch some of his videos and he speak about a lot of these topics. I never really listen. Like I listened, but I didn't listen. Like I didn't really deeply listen because a lot of shit he used to say did used to feel like I just felt like he was naturally strong and masculine and he was just saying shit. But now that I'm looking at it from this perspective, it's like, yeah, like there's a balance, delicate balance, you know? Because although a guy could be strong, he's still speaking from his experiences, which is emotional at the end of the day. And it's an E word. Experience is emotion. Because you may think, oh, it's logic, but it's really emotion. Because just because you experience something don't mean it's going to happen this time. Like I said, women, you can't go off experience with a woman. Because that's what guys are doing. But if you think about it, you don't know what she's going to do. She might have a change of heart. She might feel different than this season, this year. So you don't know what a person gonna do. You gotta stay open and receptive to what they might and might not do, and you gotta know how to train a person every step of the way because you don't know what they're gonna do. People are unpredictable. Energy is unpredictable. Thoughts are unpredictable. Feelings, emotions, all of this stuff unpredictable. So communication with a person is deeper than just I want to talk to her because I want to get to know her. That's why most guys are not getting anywhere with women because they don't have a mission statement. And because you don't have a mission, it makes it hard to get to know somebody because first of all, you're not leading anywhere. So you're not even being seen as sexy. But then second of all, if you were truly leading somewhere, you wouldn't have time for a lot of the shit that guys have time for. Even sex would be more, you don't have a lot of time to do it. So she'll want to fuck you more because you don't have time to do it. But you won't have time to argue and do a lot of the nonsense. You'll be more so non-nonsense, no nonsense. And what you'll do is when you're around her, you'll make of that time, if that makes sense. So what you'll do is you'll naturally, like I just said, you'll make tester, compliance tests. You might do things that still keep you looking sexy, but it's going somewhere. So she could simultaneously, because remember, women are simultaneous creatures. They will simultaneously feel like, okay, he still loves me, he's checking on me, and he's dealing with me, he's talking to me, he's flirting a little bit, but he's still leading me somewhere, which they need to feel. They need to feel both the love but the mission at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Which they don't get that nowadays from a lot of guys. A lot of guys are too lazy, sitting on their ass and not doing anything, or they're so into their work that they just feel like they can't talk to women at all. But you need to be balanced. Balance is the key to life. I'm about to end the video on that note. But balance is the key to life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to say, man. So I would even say prioritize your emotions up here. Cause you've been abandoning it. Let's be honest, fellas. Y'all have been abandoning it since like middle school. When y'all found out that women like bad guys, y'all thought that meant, oh, I have to be all logic. Yeah, be that way in public, but when you're alone, cry, let it out, be yourself, talk about the issues because it don't make you more of a warrior. If you carry all this baggage and shit into the war zone, punching bag. You feel me? And women are really fucking good. Let me see this shit real quick. Man, don't. This young guy. Look, women are really good at buttons. You will be fucking surprised. Um, they know how to get out here and test a man. That's one thing they know how to do. And they test you for stability. Because again, that's a sign of masculinity um to them. It's like they're shit testing you, or they're testing you to see if you give a fuck, and you'll get way if you don't give a fuck, but you still have the ability to emote. That's a demonstration of higher value, like my boy. You still have the ability to emote and feel, it's showcasing strength that you're open, but yet not a push, and that's very attractive. And it lets a woman know that she can talk to you and you're gonna hear what the fuck she's saying. You know, time you're not gonna if it's some bullshit. It's a sign of health. Man, like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think down below. all that super tough shit, man. Listen, man, it's cool when it's cool, but it's really damn, and it's crash out culture. You know what I'm saying? Rome, I don't expect guys overnight, but a lot of the game is intuitiveness. Even when you watch the gangster movies, it's intuitiveness. The bad boy has intuitiveness. He just ain't gonna go for some shit because it looks right. You know what I'm saying? Because he check under the hood. You know what I'm saying? Um, I watched Spider-Man the other day. He had the Spidey senses. He just has when he got bit by that spider, his intuitiveness was just high. That's what made him able to finesse, like, to fight and do all this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite movies, Spider-Man, for real, since a kid. But yeah, that intuitiveness is what people look at. It's a testament to your survival ability. People really, you'll be surprised. Guys and girls, friends and dates, both look to that. It's the thing that when you become a father, it's very important. To help the kids survive and stuff like that, you have to be able to read the room. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always talk about um, February method, emotional acuity and stuff like that. Um, Facial acuity, emotional acuity, body language, body acuity, reading the room, because there's so many reasons why that's important, but it's just what is attractive. I don't know other way to put it. It's attractive. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think down below. See you on the next video.